Hello YouTubers, I am Random Man. This is the random game with my random friend. He will say a word, phrase, or a question in which I will randomly respond. Shoot.
Random Man, I understand you have a new product. Could you tell us about this new product, please?
Oh yes, it's the Uniden scanner. It picks up frequencies of all sorts. It is a lot of fun. To be safe, of course, for internet purposes. The weather alerts is always a nice thing to learn about. What's going on for the next week and whatnot. And the antenna is decent. I'm very happy with it.
Isn't this recognized as a police scanner?
Yes, it picks up police, local police and sheriff, and fire, EMS. Search and rescue type stuff as well, military stuff as well, air traffic, NASCAR racing, railroad.
You told me a story earlier about how you turned it on. On a couple occasions, unusual activity happened. Could you tell us about that, please?
Oh yeah, let's wrap this up pretty quick.
Let's stretch it out, please.
When I first bought this, I activated the old capturing the radio waves out in a certain area of town, and a helicopter showed up and passed over my place 3 times. Now, it's always coincidence, but the thing is, it goes over, back, and then the 3rd time, sideways. So I got a good shot of what's going on. So I was starting to be suspicious of surveillance, but I understand we have spies in this war games that's been going on, with Russia and U.S. and Ukraine and the borders of the Baltics, where our troops are right up close with the Russians. And then I've heard that they're in the Gulf of Mexico spying on us, so I figure we're all on alerts. But does that mean they're just going to be on surveillance of all Americans? So this, with civil liberties, comes to the 4th Amendment on the security of getting warrants on our privacy and whatnot. So, they work for the government, we're citizens, so where's the debate on that issue? But to wrap up the helicopter things, lunchtime today, I was listening on for a few moments, off work, of course. Another helicopter shows up. It's right real close, low level, right over my head again. So 4 times in 2 days of having this thing, I'm kind of wondering, how many more helicopters are going to be on their way. So I hope it's coincidence, but if it's not coincidence, I want there to be a debate on the 4th Amendment of the Bill of Rights concerning surveillance with government, surveillance, citizen and militaries.
So, do you believe that this police scanner transmits radio signals as well as receives them?
Well, it's kind of like Star Wars. It's a disturbance in the Force is going on. They track radio frequencies, I believe, all over the place at different levels. And they have jammers too. And even China has stuff coming out that counteracts a lot of that stuff. So there's hackers and whatnot, and there are a lot of the drug scene. People would probably use scanners and whatnot to stay out of trouble. And I like just emergency reasons, know if there's a tsunami coming or something like that. But long story short is, I believe they are adapting ways of tracking all the radio waves, and this is how they're, getting into cell phones and activity and satellites and really reading what's going on.
Well, let's get down to the meat and potatoes. Let's step outside and turn this police transceiver on and see if we cannot summon a helicopter.
Okay, one last thing is there is a close capture setting on here that's built in. So within a few hundred yards, anyone that keys in, I will pick up on it. So I can see why the bad guys would like to have these, but the good guys should have it too, in case there's bad guys gonna use it against the good guys. So
Good call, Random Man. Let's step outside.
turn the volume up here. Search. We're on a little police station here. For all good purposes. Nothing about listening in too much. I'm not that nosy of a person. Just like to be aware. So it sounds like the birds are already taking off.
Do you see any helicopters?
Well, I think I'm going to go to the weather alert.
From 43.
It's usually within 5 or 10 minutes, so we might not have that much time today, but it's always good to be sure.
Can you just give the sky one last check, please?
I do hear an airplane possibly on the other side of those mountains. It's pretty far away. But it could be civilian. There's a civilian airport not too far from here. But who's to say there's not government agents in those? Oh, you know. It's kind of like my first couple, well, probably my second video I ever done of Random Man was about surveillance. That's always a good one to go back and realize that some of those policies are still out there. You never know what you're facing until you are aware of both sides of the picture.
Thank you, Random Man.
Yeah.